We meet the staff dealing with trouble at the zoo.
Do you want to stand on here? So nothing to be scared of. I'll give you that. And just hold it there, nice and still. Bonita.
Last spring, a controversial zoo in Cumbria was almost forced to close. The summer that followed was a fight for survival. Over 5 months, we filmed the people determined to rescue South Lake Safari Zoo.
Nothing here works properly.
What does it mean to be a zoo on the breadline?
No cake for animals.
Which species should a zoo keep?
This is going. Bloody hell, we're gonna have nothing left.
And when there's conflict between business interests and animal welfare,
it's just beyond belief. I've never experienced that. Nowhere else on this planet.
how should we look after lives in captivity?
I see you looking down. Come on.
I mean, I don't think it gets more perfect.
What do you reckon she's thinking?
Yeah, I think that means breakfast.
For over 20 years, exotic species from all over the world have been entertaining the public at South Lake Safari Zoo.
Do you like giraffes? Yeah?
You've been obsessed from an early age, haven't you?
It's worse things to be obsessed with. Nearly.
The zoo sits in southwest Cumbria. It features open spaces where visitors can walk amongst some of the animals.
They're shy, aren't they?
No, these ones are.
Another major attraction are the 4 species of big cats.
And you guys local?
No, Catterick. About 2 hours away. I love this place.
Were you worried about it for a while?
Yeah, I was. Did think it was going to close. I was in tears. I was like, it can't shut down. But I'm so glad it stayed open.
Safari Zoo was set up in 1994. The dream of entrepreneur David Gill. But in recent years, animal welfare issues have dogged the park. And in 2014, Gill received a conviction for allowing an invasive species to escape.
The applicant has been convicted of an offence listed in section 4.5 of the Act.
Gill maintains he was treated unfairly. But in March last year, he was refused a licence to continue running the zoo. Since then, the remaining staff have been picking up the pieces. They formed a new company. And after making improvements, they persuaded the council to grant them their own zoo licence in May 2017.
Right, so can you please work out for me how many weeks we've been doing this?
17 weeks and 5 days.
Thank you. You've all worked tremendously hard over the last 17 weeks and 5 days. Licence will be for 4 years. We'll get inspected regularly throughout, but well done for getting here, because it's been a hard slog. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. And I'm really proud of all of you.
I might just go and get some fresh air. I'm just emotional.
Winning the licence is just the first hurdle. Visitors have been put off by the bad press. Over the summer months, the zoo needs to win them back to survive the rest of the year.
It has been tough, you know. We've felt a massive turn down in numbers at the door. We've set up an income budget for August of something like £800,000, which is vastly reduced, you know, and takes into account the kind of issues that we've encountered this year. It's just a case of survival, really.
Can I just borrow you to go down and look at those vulture pens before I move them across?
The new licence comes with strict conditions from the local council.
Great idea.
The zoo have had to take on a new director of animals to modernise standards.
Zoos have 4 tasks. You know what zoos are here for?
Education,
Education,
conservation,
conservation,
research.
research,
Now I'm lost. Fun.
recreation.
Well, yeah.
Recreation, got it.
Recreation,
See?
Andreas Kaufmann is a consultant who spent over 25 years working with the global zoo community.
We have a very nice place. It's just a very high density of animals. And I realized that numbers in visitors have gone down.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about how to do things a little differently. You could turn it into a better place for the animals. You could also create a better experience for the people.
He wants to challenge every aspect of animal care. How they feed animals, which animals they should keep, and how they engage with international conservation programs.
We have to bring it to a highly professional level. But this may involve actions that may not correlate with what some people feel emotionally.
You optimistic about things?
Absolutely. I am optimistic.
Visitor numbers may be down, but the costs to run the park remain the same. Safari Zoo's food bill can clock in at £10,000 a month. But savings can be made.
Lions.
Cheap zoo-grade meat is marked unsafe for human consumption with a blue dye.
We've had some full calves come in this morning on our meat delivery, which is always very exciting. The lions have had one this morning already, so this one is going to the vultures. Most zoos try to replicate natural behaviour as much as possible. All the organs are still in there. That's what they enjoy the most. It doesn't bother me. I'm vegetarian, but I spend most of my life absolutely stinking of meat, so why not?
Fresh produce is a much bigger expense than meat.
So we're going to do the barrow run.
So the keepers supplement their fruit and veg orders with a daily trip to 10 local supermarkets, picking up any freebies they might put to use.
It's going to be an adventure, gang. Hiya! Do you have anything today?
Do you think some people would be surprised that a zoo relies on gifts?
I'm not really sure. Because I would imagine like the bigger zoos will have more money to get sort of great amounts of food. That was a good in because there was a lot of citrus in that, and we don't get oranges, and the citrus is so good for the birds. Okay.
Yes, please, if you don't mind just...
Every day we just do a little sort of log of what we get from each place. Just keep an eye on the petrol that we use. I've only been here 18 months, but even though the zoo has had all these scandals, the prospect of the future is so exciting. The minute we got the licence through, I put my flat on the market, sold it 2 weeks later, put in an offer up here, and fingers crossed, you know, I'll be settled up here. And that's how I'm here.
Since she moved to the zoo, Kathy has taken an interest in the red pandas, Pan and Tinkerbell. The pandas draw the crowds. But they're also endangered in the wild, where numbers have halved in under 20 years. Safari Zoo has recently reared 2 young cubs.
So this is one of Tink's cubs. I mean, I don't think it gets more perfect. I can't tell you, like, I look at my friends' kids and stuff and I think, no thanks. And then I look at a panda cub and I literally could just, like, cry with joy, like I'm their mother. It's very weird. C'est la vie, nothing new.
If a zoo wants to play a role in global conservation efforts, they'll mate their animals on the recommendation of international breeding programs. In recent years, Safari Zoo has often made its own breeding decisions.
We breed like rabbits, everything does here.
How important are babies to the zoo?
Well, of course they're very important. The public go absolutely mad, especially, you know, for like the lemurs, because they're bouncing around, interacting. The kids get to see little things running around. Tinkerbell.
Kathy checks on the red panda cubs and their parents at least twice a day.
I see you looking down. Come on, come on. Here she comes. Here we go. When I first started working with the pandas, they were a bit stressed out and they weren't looking in the best condition that they could have looked. So I took on this role of really nurturing them. It means everything, honestly. I absolutely adore them. Hello, little one.
It wasn't just the condition of the red pandas that raised concerns in the past. The park's welfare issues have made headline news. Last year, it was reported that almost 500 of their animals had died in under 4 years.
It was David Gill's attitude towards the number of animal deaths which concerned inspectors. And a keeper told the inspection team that their instructions were to dispose of bodies and not tell anyone about them.
Andreas visited the zoo in 2016, while David Gill was still in charge.
The first time I got here, what I saw was shocking, especially what they were feeding some species. Leftovers, stuff they got from supermarkets.
Why were they feeding them that?
It was cheap. Didn't cost anything.
Is it basic stuff?
No, it's very basic stuff. You can see the bones sticking out here. That was taken in July last year. You see, they're really, really skinny. You can see all the ribs. This is not what a giraffe is supposed to look like. They look totally different today. Today they're well fed. But if you can't provide your animals with the right diets and the right environment, you just don't keep animals. No, don't feel that.
Oh, sorry.
Don't feel.
How did it make you feel when you saw all this?
You don't want to hear what I felt. Probably can't put that on BBC. Everyone was struggling for survival. The animals were, employees were. There was one person who would just decide everything. But everyone who worked here, they were here for the animals, especially the keepers. They're good, yeah. They really cared for their animals, and that's the baseline.
Animal diets are one of Andreas's first priorities.
By feeding animals the wrong stuff, you could actually kill them.
He wants a bigger range of fresh produce and to make sure it's prepared properly.
Right, shall we go through this?
Especially the free food they get from the supermarkets.
Just look at it, tell me what you think.
Okay.
There must be no mold, not a spot. Okay? Loads of the stuff is moldy, and you just can't feed that to animals. They should be getting about the same stuff that we eat, same quality.
Yeah.
Caramel cake, I wouldn't eat it if you paid me for it. No cake for animals.
Andreas's dietary changes will push up the food bills. The zoo's cash flow is already stretched.
I think when he's gone to other zoos and he's used to a decent budget, a hefty budget, and there you go. We brought you in, can you please resolve it? And he's had a decent budget to work to. We don't have that here.
Speaking to the lady about the red panda experience this morning.
We need to balance stuff.
She's over in the entrance building.
This summer, the zoo's financial hopes rely on numbers being boosted by tourists and families.
And that's 1950 then, please.
And to lure the punters back, the zoo has slashed its prices.
There we go. Don't lose that. All right. Enjoy your day. Our normal admission price is £16.50, but we've got an offer on at the moment. It's £5 per adult, children are free, and then we charge for animal feeding, food bags, things like that. If we don't make enough on the animal feedings, the business would struggle, so we're selling everything we can down here, except kidneys. We don't sell kidneys. Next, please.
These days, the zoo relies on paid extras on top of the entrance fee.
We do have the £7 per person wristband, which will get you a giraffe feeding and a lemur feeding.
Many animal parks offer hand feedings for extra cash.
And that's just £5, thank you.
We've got 3 tigers, 1 male.
But like a few others in the UK, Safari Zoo takes things a stage further. They offer big cat feedings for £25.
If you just make sure there's a bit of meat stuck out the end that they can get hold of. Try and keep your hand a bit further back.
Hand feeding, it is a way to generate more income, which is obviously in our situation a very good reason to do it.
So these are Sumatran tigers. There's less than 400 of these left in the wild. Yeah, this is yours.
But looking into the future, the hand feeding will have to be reduced because conservation is the clear message of a modern zoo of the 21st century. And conservation is not about hand feeding.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful creatures, aren't they? Look at that. You're a big cuddle puss. You just want your tummy doing, don't you? They're just like big pussycats.
Yeah, a lot of the behaviours are very similar, but the minute you turn your back, they go straight for you.
Many visitors come to the zoo for the big cats. But it was an incident in this section of the park that first made national headlines. In May 2013, keeper Sarah McClay was killed by a tiger.
24-year-old Sarah considered it a privilege to work with big cats. She died when a tiger entered the keeper's area of the tiger house through what should have been a self-closing locked door. But the mechanism was faulty. The zoo's maintenance and inspection regime had been inadequate.
Do you feel responsible for her death?
The business was fined over £250,000. It was the beginning of the end for David Gill as head of the zoo. Today, Yaz runs the carnivore section of the park.
This is Nero.
Tiger 4, I'm entering Lion Pen B1.
Okay, Yaz.
Nero is one of the zoo's 3 lions.
What are you going in for?
Just to put this in for him to have a play with.
How long have you known Nero?
Oh, God. It's been about almost 3 years now, I think. When he arrived, he didn't have all of his mane. He just had this little flick on top of his head. So it's nice to see him growing up a big boy. Isn't it? Tiger 4, I've left Lion Pen B1. Come in.
How old do lions live to?
About the same as a normal house cat, really. Can be from 16 to 20 years. He's so cute. I love him. Oh, tell a lie. I don't want to play with it as well. It's yours.
Do you like working with cats?
Yeah, they're my favourite. I love them. I think it's like a little reminder of Sarah, really.
Do you think about her?
Yeah, I think about her every single day. Yeah. It was quite a heavy time for us. Hopefully, looking after them like she would have wanted. So, I really like working with them, and I don't know, maybe it makes it a bit more special for me in a way. Tiger 4, I've left Tiger Pen 1.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Chin Chin. Hi. I don't think she likes you.
The zoo is relying on a summer boom. But their troubled history has prompted questions in Parliament.
Mr Woodcock is our Barrow and Furness MP.
It's a box, yeah.
And he's just won support for a parliamentary debate on the whole zoo legislation issue. So I've just got the press release.
What does it say?
Barrow and Furness MP won the support of a top government minister for a parliamentary debate on the legislation of the oversight of zoos following the appalling neglect of animals uncovered at Southlake Safari Zoo in Dalton earlier this year. You know, it'll just bring it all back out again at probably the worst possible time. Right for summer holidays. For summer.
Yeah, we get them at £5.95 a box. Same for the lettuce.
Over the coming months, the zoo will depend on their most popular animals to win visitors back. But this morning, something is wrong in one of the enclosures. Nero is unconscious and unresponsive.
Yeah, I found him this morning, first thing. He was fine before we went home, but obviously a long time between 5:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning.
The staff need to move Nero indoors, so they must make sure he stays unconscious.
She's going to try to pressurize it.
Have you got the paramedic here, Kate?
We don't know what happened to him, so we just want to make sure he's okay. And we want to make sure he's okay staying alive ourselves.
Nero's breathing is laboured, and his body temperature is dropping. But the cause is unclear.
So we've basically been, first of all, keeping the lion alive, raising his body temperature, and now we're just getting fluids into him. We've basically done all that we could do at this stage.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not like that, not that an animal just collapses in the enclosure. But I've seen animals that were under anesthesia. And that's a pretty similar state that he's obviously in.
Three days after he was discovered asleep, Nero deteriorates and dies. At just 4 years old, he was the youngest of the zoo's lions. His body is sent for a post-mortem to determine the cause of death. In the meantime, Andreas is pressing on with his reforms.
It's such a lot going on in here. That's a nice big enclosure, but still too many animals in here. So we go and find other zoos that could care for some of the species and animals that we currently have better than we can at this stage.
He's preparing a list of animals to move elsewhere.
Pygmy hippo. I think we should make him available to other institutions.
He is a breeding male, so he'd be very valuable for somebody that wants to breed.
So there's no point in this male being here alone,
no.
Solitary. He should breed. So, and ultimately we're here for conservation. Okay.
The keepers are meeting to discuss which species to move on.
We really need to reduce species, especially numbers of animals.
Animals selected to go to other zoos are added to a surplus list.
So, red kangaroos, one male is going to Flamingoland. The black howlers, do we want to keep them?
Yes. I like them.
I like them, but that's not the point. The thing is, can we care for them? Pygmy hippo, I think we should surplus him to put it nicely. The indoor is just crap. And that's a nice version. Anaconda?
I have a private home.
I'm not sure we can. It's a dangerous wild animal. Currently we have a bit more than 1,000 animals on site. And I can't tell you the numbers now, but we'll reduce somewhere between 30, 40, maybe a bit more %.
Wow, that's a lot of animals.
That's a lot of animals.
It's Andreas's responsibility to oversee the animal collection. But the zoo won't survive unless financial targets are met this summer.
And how do you feel about the proposed changes to the animal collection?
For us, and we've both been here a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a lot more contact with the visitors. And we know what the visitor enjoys, and we know why, we know why they drive 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get here.
Yeah.
I would be cautious if those changes meant any major difference from a visitor perception.
We're quite limited to what you can do to make yourself different. So I think what we have at the minute is something you have to keep hold of.
And we don't want to be the same as any other zoo in England and any other zoo in Europe. We want to be different. Some things you don't need to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Summer in Cumbria. And there's been more troubling news. One of the 2 red panda cubs that Kathy helped to rear has died.
I'm quite bothered about the other cub now, and obviously it's a cold, wet day. So I'm just going to nip in now and check she's okay. I shall keep you posted. Hello, baby.
What's that?
It's the cub. It's not made it. Tiger 14 to Teresa, you're in the vet room.
Yes.
Tink, she's a new mum. And maybe she's not quite sure what to do yet.
Still with us? No. Let's have a look. They're absolutely strong and healthy last week when we talked. It's not your fault, you've been checking them every day.
I know. Tink seems a bit funny as well. She's being a bit...
Was she attentive yesterday?
Not really.
Okay, so possibly they haven't been fed.
Maybe. Can I leave you with her for a bit?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Mammals, like the red pandas, tend to survive longer in captivity than those in the wild. But in both environments, infant mortality is common.
Nobody did anything wrong. Like we have 1,000 animals on site. Deaths occur. That's like in a village where 1,000 people live. Yeah? They don't stay alive for the rest of time. Sometimes people die, sometimes kids die, which is nobody wants that, but that's the way it is. And sometimes, even though you put all the efforts in, you do everything possible, you provide all the veterinary care, you spend all the money on whatever is possible, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
What about the recent reports, you know, almost 500 deaths in under 4 years?
The number 500 just doesn't mean anything. It's not so much about the mortality rate as knowing why these animals have died, and then it's what have you done about it.
He was 4, wasn't he, when he passed away?
It's now been a fortnight since Nero died. Rumours are going round the zoo that he was fed contaminated meat.
Has it been released yet that Nero's died?
No, because they're still waiting for some of the results. And I think if you don't know the full story, and you can't answer the questions properly. You look like you're making stuff up. You look like you're trying to hide and cover stuff when you know you're not. So I think until we all fully understand, fully know, we've got results proving it, I think it'll be just kept to us. But it's beautiful. Well, was.
Bless him.
Morning, you all right there?
It's August, the month that will make or break Safari Zoo.
Yes, please.
Cheaper pricing on the door seems to be winning families back.
Numbers are the same as they were this time last year and in previous summers, so yeah, it's looking good. Next, please.
The animal feedings are proving popular.
Straight down to the first one. If you haven't got any, just put your hand back so you don't get your hand cold.
So that is a 97% decrease in tiger numbers in less than 100 years. Also, there used to be 9 different subspecies of tiger. And now there are only 6.
With business booming, engaging with animal conservation programs is next on Andreas's list.
Yeah. Monday we put you in charge. Yeah.
He's appointing a deputy with experience from 14 zoos to help them reconnect with the global community.
Make sure you get registered for IAZA. Just, you know, be in touch with people again and bring us back to the zoo world.
It's a job.
Yeah.
IAZA conference. It's not a jolly.
David is taking headkeeper Kim to the Netherlands for this year's conference of the European Association of Zoos and Aquaria.
Hello mate, how you doing? So, who are you representing? South Lakes?
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's coming on.
Safari Zoo once held full membership with IAZA, but it was downgraded following an inspection in 2015.
Have no captive population, they're just running around in the wild.
Being allowed back in would be recognition of their commitment to conservation programs and animal welfare.
What do we want to save? What can we save and where can we save it?
David and Kim are here to get the latest on the breeding programs.
Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm well. You?
And they're also here to network.
We've been on the naughty step of IAZA for a number of years now.
Hello, Radoslav. Hi. Good to see you again.
And we need to get off it and get back into the fold.
Where are you now, Cumbria?
South Lakes.
South Lakes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The famous South Lakes.
I remember.
Infamous South Lakes.
Or you're introducing yourself to new people. What's it like?
I think they'll kind of go, how's it going there? But it's not in a kind of general like, oh, how's it going? It's kind of implied how's it going. Well, that's the impression. I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid.
Hello. 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 Marianne.
So, yeah, I mean, David's got the fact of he's been known for other zoos and stuff like that, but kind of in this kind of world, I'm an absolute nobody. So it's kind of getting past the old to the new sort of thing. I think it'll take a while.
IAZA's breeding programs are designed to keep captive populations of species healthy and prevent inbreeding. But when Safari Zoo bred the red pandas, they did so without their blessing.
I can see Tink up in the tree there. She didn't eat this morning. Oh, look, here she is. Tinkerbell. Hello, baby. I'm worried that she's going down there now to look for the cubs, because that's where the nest put was.
If the zoo want to rejoin IAZA, they should follow breeding recommendations. Even if that means no more cute panda cubs.
as a zoo, you need to have those young animals. You know, it does bring in the public. The pandas are incredibly cute. They're adored. They're very well looked after. But I also know that we're very keen to be taken seriously in the zoo world, so it's important how we move with this.
Of course, every zoo wants attractive animals. But one of our key reasons for the existence of zoos is conservation. So breeding programs you should be participating in.
Tiger 4, I'm opening Snow Leopard Pen 1.
Following conservation recommendations means zoos can also lose some of their most loved animals.
What are we doing?
The IAZA Snow Leopard breeding program has found a genetic match for one of the zoo's young females.
What is it?
They're to breed on the other side of the world at Melbourne Zoo.
The crate's in there for Mishka, so she can get used to the box before she moves to Australia. The snow leopards are quite nervous, so hopefully it should mean she will smoothly walk into the crate when we want her to go and there'll be no problems at all. In theory. Got to try, haven't you? Oh, and he's gone.
The population of this species in the wild has long been under threat.
It's all right. Come on, Mishka. Yeah, all right through. Yeah, what a good girl.
Mishka is one of about 600 snow leopards kept in zoos worldwide.
She's just so cute. You're a big girl now, aren't you? Don't leave me.
On top of losing Mishka, Andreas' surplus list means many more animals going to other zoos. He's asked Kim to take a lead in arranging the transports.
So Zims is online, so it means it's available for anybody who's got Zims to see. So it's kind of a way of, I suppose, it's a really bad way of saying it, but advertising your animals that you don't want anymore, sort of thing. So yeah, these are the species available, so obviously that's our surplus list at the moment.
What's your general take on the surplus list? And
I think we've got quite a lot on there.
what are you worried about?
There not being anything to see. I think we need to be careful because if you're moving things and you're leaving empty enclosures, what are you going to put in the empty enclosures? So it's all about the plan for the future. And I think for everybody, if the plan is like we're moving this, but next week we're doing this, then that's fair enough. But if we're moving this and it's just a big field, then you can just go at the local park and you're in the same place.
Nero's post-mortem results are back. They confirmed the lion didn't die of natural causes.
Was there any indication from as to what actually happened?
I don't know whether Karen's okay that for you guys to know, but it was barbiturate poisoning. So it was in the meat. It was drugs in the meat. So barbiturates is what you use to put animals down, to put them to sleep. Now we have an agreement with our supplier that we only get from their meat that's been shot. So it hasn't had any, it's not supposed to have had any drugs at all. I don't really know what's happened or how it's happened, but...
How does that make you feel?
There's no sign on the meat at all, it's just in there. So there's nothing we could have known, but it means that he died from something we gave him, which is pretty devastating. So, yeah.
You do everything to save the animal's life, and then you find out that it's been poisoned. It's just beyond belief, and yeah, that is very upsetting.
Have you ever seen anything like it before?
No, I've never experienced that. Nowhere else on this planet.
It's September. Summer is over. And the zoo's board of directors is meeting.
Right. Who's going to run this one?
Despite Nero's test results, barbiturates in the meat supply is not on the agenda. But Andreas's surplus list is.
There's animals on there that I have no idea why you would even get rid of them.
At the moment, we're just trying to find room to move because we have so many animals.
Obviously, I'm just hearing whispers, and I'm thinking, this is going. But yeah, we're going to have nothing left.
Organizations like IAZA give you recommendations what to keep and what not to keep.
But there are certain things that you think, right, okay, we're going to have to protect and not dwindle.
I tell you, if all these animals that are on a surplus list go, which will not